Okay. Hey, this is David Bradley, Sales and Marketing Manager with Grant Cardone. This is Cardone University. You've got a 3-day trial that you're about to take advantage of. And what I wanted to do is just spend a couple minutes with you, walking you through the university, giving you just a brief tour and a once over, and help you understand the mindset behind this program. Um, this is literally about where Grant does become your personal success coach when you need it. So this is available for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the fly. We're going to cover things like how to understand selling, how to service a customer all the way to a sale, how to negotiate effectively, how to handle yourself when you're on the phone, how to prospect. I mean, the number one reason people don't prospect is they just don't know how. So we're going to show you how to do that, how to communicate effectively. There are rules to success, okay? And we're going to go over all 13 of them. Also, we're going to look at some motivation for you. And you may have heard this before, but when I talk about motivation, I'm not talking about, Matt Foley, Saturday Night Live, living in a van down by the river kind of motivation. I'm talking about real being inspired, about what am I doing and how am I having an impact on the world. Okay. So this is where you'll go to log in. It's right here. And this is where you're going to sign in. But the other thing I just want to point out to you is that this program is about solving problems. And as I mentioned, it's available for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if you look down here at the bottom, we're about to hit the 15 million sign-in mark, and that is huge. That means that over 15 million times people have come to this program to get an answer to a question or to solve a problem about what am I going to do to close this deal? What am I going to do to present my product effectively? How am I going to figure out what's important to this buyer? How do I get out into the marketplace and get myself out of obscurity? So let's hop in and look at how you can use that specifically. There's 3 key elements to the program. Most of your time is going to be spent inside the training center, which is right here, especially on this 3-day trial. So as you're going into the 3 days, I want you to start thinking with, hey, what are some problems that I'm facing right now that are costing me deals or money or opportunity that if I could fix, it would make the whole thing make sense to me. So we're going to look at things like fundamental basics of selling. We're going to look at things like understanding the buyer. What is a sales process? You can improve your forecast accuracy by over 200% simply by implementing an effective sales process. There's a theory behind closing, and then there's specific strategies to get it done. Here's the phone stuff I was mentioning. Here's prospecting and follow-up. Now, you want to spend, I'd probably say 10 to 15 minutes maximum first thing in the morning to start your day. So just hop in here, and your day should be started by literally just getting your game face on, right? Making sure that when you show up to work on time, that your head's in the game, right? Your big boy pants are on, you're here. So you can look at a segment like 100 Ways to Stay Motivated. I'm going to pop in here, maybe do 2 or 3 short segments out of here. And I'll look at, let's take self-esteem as an example. Okay, there's a downloadable workbook you can download. There's 13 different chapters to pick from. Pick one, watch it. There we go.
Be the most.
Okay, this is 1 minute and 19 seconds. So you can do 3 or 4 of these every single morning just to get your head on right. Okay. Now I'm going to hop back into the training center. And then later in the day, though, we want to start solving some problems. So let me just give an example. We were talking about sales process, and maybe you feel like you need to understand your buyer a little bit better and what's important to them. So you're going to hop into fact finding. Maybe you met with somebody today and you really couldn't get a sense as to what was important to them. So you're going to hop into fact finding, and you're going to spend just a few minutes with Grant. This segment here is about 5 minutes long, so we're going to watch this video. Now at the end of the video is going to be a test. And the test is designed to make sure that you know it, that you can duplicate the data later, that there's no thought involved for you, okay? So the test, you either get 100% on this thing or you fail it. If you get an answer wrong, you miss the whole thing and you got to start over. And again, this is to make sure that you're clear on the data, that you understand it. And most importantly, you can duplicate it later. Does that make sense? So to come back to this for you, 2 or 3 segments to start your day to get the attitude right. Later in the afternoon, 2 or 3 more to solve problems and handle whatever's getting in your way today. And then the next step is before you go to bed at night, give your subconscious something to work on, because it's working on something either way, right? So you can pop in here and you can watch anything you want. And I would suggest Maybe start thinking about what you want to do tomorrow and how you want to start your day. So maybe you want some prospecting tomorrow. Maybe pop in here and watch a segment on prospecting basics, or maybe hop in here and know that, during the day you got some emails that you didn't feel like you responded correctly to, or you were challenged with that. So maybe hop in here and look at the mistakes of the internet. Okay. So there's a lot of different choices for you, but do one more extra credit segment before you go to bed. And so 2 or 3 in the morning, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, 1 or 2 right before you go to bed. And then anytime you're going to meet with a client, I want you to pop into this section right here. It's called handling objections. So if you ever had a customer come in and tell you that they need to think about it, or they need to talk to somebody else before they can make a decision, or if they were told you that your product's too much money, or you're not in the budget right now, you hear things like this every single day. So if you know they're coming, you can prepare for them. So I'm just going to use let me talk to somebody else before I make a decision. We call that a spouse stall, because typically it's a husband or wife that pops up when that presents itself. So you can pop in here before your appointment. If they say, hey, I'm going to be there in 20 minutes and I'm going to get all the information, then I'm going to go home and I'm going to talk to somebody about it. You can literally pop in here, and in 38 seconds, Grant is going to give you a strategy that you can employ and use when you're in that meeting. Now, the flip side to this is that if you go into the meeting and they throw a curveball at you and they drop this at you and you didn't expect it, you can come in afterwards and debrief the experience. So before the meeting, think about it in terms of a baseball game. If you're playing in a baseball game and you're going up against a guy that throws a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, then it would make sense to practice 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, wouldn't it? Whereas if the game is over and the guy threw a curveball at you and you weren't expecting it, then you're going to go practice curveballs. Does that make sense? And if that particular one doesn't work for you, then you just hit next chapter. And here's another one on how to handle, let me talk to somebody else before I make a decision. This one's only 29 seconds. These are all short, quick methods for you to warm up for an appointment or debrief immediately afterwards to make sure that you're not just, that you're learning from experience. Follow? So again, spend 10 to 15 minutes in the morning in this thing, 10 to 15 minutes later in the afternoon, 5 or 10 right before you go to bed. If you really want to see a production increase for yourself, 6 segments a day is the benchmark. Grant set that himself. Okay, and then make sure you're using our handling objections section before any appointment that you have. That's the nuts and the bolts of the program. If you go a little bit lower, you'll see that all 4 of Grant's books are streaming on audio, plus our rules of success. We've got live events, so anytime Grant's done something live, if we've got permission to use it, we're going to put it up in here. These are all inspirations from Grant. If you need help following up with a client, that's here. If you need help with customer service, that's here. If you need help with personal finance to make sure you're using your money correctly once you start earning the big bucks, that's here. So any problem that you can think of is going to be solved in here. Now, if you have any questions about it, if you need to dig a little bit deeper, if you've got a specific issue you want to help or you want help handling, call me directly. My phone number is 310-777-0352. It rings right at my desk. Again, I'm David Bradley. You want to shoot me an email? david@grantcardone.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go into the details section and all my contact information is there. Thank you so much for watching. Call me if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to working with you. Be great.